The silent enemy you have been carrying for years is fear. Perhaps you recognize its heavy presence in the pit of your stomach when the bills arrive, or in a frantic, restless energy that surfaces whenever you consider investments or major purchases. This fear isn't simply a rational assessment of your balance sheet. It is a deep, psychological current running beneath every financial decision you make. You are the hero of your own financial journey, yet this invisible adversary, fear, has consistently undermined your campaigns. It has manifested as a fear of not having enough, the paralyzing dread of losing what little security you have managed to build, or even the subtle, insidious fear of succeeding and attracting unwanted scrutiny or responsibility. This fear has shaped your relationship with money in profound and detrimental ways. It made you clutch your resources too tightly, giving rise to a scarcity mindset that tells you to hold back, to give up on opportunities too soon, and ultimately, to believe too little in your own capacity for true prosperity. You have entered a survival loop. You work relentlessly to escape scarcity, but your very efforts are filtered through the lens of insecurity and doubt. This repetitive cycle keeps your abundance locked away, manifesting as an emotional drain rather than a financial gain. You study, you seek better employment, you try to optimize your budget, yet your deepest, most crucial decisions are still driven by a profound lack of self-trust concerning money. You find yourself hitting an invisible wall, an emotional pattern that feels insurmountable. This tension is exactly where the breakthrough begins. You are right to sense that the issue isn't merely the market or the job. It is the inner state. True wealth is not born solely from brute force or endless effort. It emerges from an internal state of being. Abundance is fundamentally a frequency, an emotional alignment, and only when you commit to transforming your mindset does the flow of prosperity begin to open in tangible ways. The hard truth is that fear cannot be defeated through force or avoidance. It must be dissolved through precise, intentional application of awareness, clarity, and deep mental reprogramming. Until now, you have been battling the symptoms. Today, we address the root cause. This journey requires vulnerability and courage, but it is the most critical work you will ever undertake concerning your financial life. We are not just discussing money management. We are talking about self-mastery. We must identify how fear operates within your financial energy, how it subtly sabotages your manifestations, and how to replace those crippling narratives with confidence, grounded courage, and unshakable self-worth. It is time to elevate your internal vibration, to step fully into the field of real, sustainable abundance. This is your invitation to an inner transition, moving decisively from a state of pervasive fear to one of grounded prosperity. True wealth begins in the mind, and today you take the foundational step toward claiming it. Part 1. Internal conflict with money. Let us start by simply acknowledging the emotional landscape of your financial life. Look closely at the conflict you harbor. It's the paradox of the modern worker. You earn a decent living, perhaps more than your parents ever did, yet you feel less secure. This insecurity is not logical. It is emotional residue. Many of us carry deep financial shame, believing that wanting more is greedy, or that struggling is a moral failing. This shame forces us into secrecy. We hide debt from partners. We lie about our savings. And we certainly never admit the sheer terror we feel when checking our account balances. This secrecy isolates us, turning money into a silent source of tremendous psychological pressure. Think of the internal dialogue that plays repeatedly. I shouldn't buy this, I don't deserve this, or conversely, I must buy this to prove I am successful, followed immediately by crushing guilt. This oscillation between deprivation and indulgence is a hallmark of a wounded money mindset. We use money to punish ourselves, to compensate for emotional deficits, or to build a facade of stability that our nervous systems do not actually believe. The first step toward financial self-mastery is radical honesty about this inner war. We must stop pretending that money is merely mathematical. It is a conduit for our deepest fears, our childhood anxieties, and our current sense of self-worth. When you feel that tension, that clutch in your chest when talking about income, that is not the market speaking. That is your past speaking. That is the inner child who witnessed financial stress, or the societal programming that taught you money is scarce and difficult to acquire. We validate this feeling, not to wallow in it, but to give a name, to bring it into the light, so that we can begin the work of gently untangling its roots. Your wealth journey will remain stalled until you make peace with the emotional baggage you carry. Part 2, Awareness and Belief System. Now that we have acknowledged the fear, we must trace its lineage. Every adult financial decision is an echo of a lesson learned between the ages of 7 and 17. Your current money behavior is almost certainly not a result of your current intelligence. It is a direct result of your unconscious programming. Where do your core money beliefs come from? They are often inherited from the scarcity narratives of your family of origin. Did your parents constantly argue about bills? Did they teach you that rich people were fundamentally immoral, or that money was fleeting and always required extreme struggle? Maybe your culture instilled a deep-seated belief that success requires sacrifice and suffering, making joy incompatible with profit. These beliefs are not facts. They are merely filters. But they operate like the operating system of your financial life, directing every choice you make, even when you consciously try to override them. When an opportunity presents itself, your conscious mind says, go for it. But your subconscious system, running on the old fear-based programming, slams on the brakes. We need to become detectives of our own mental landscape. Start by identifying your money mantras, the phrases you heard or believed about wealth. Write them down. Money doesn't grow on trees. There's always enough for everyone else but not for me. Or, I must work myself to exhaustion to earn a single dollar. Recognizing these scripts is the moment the true power shift occurs. You realize you are not flawed. You are simply running outdated software. Awareness is the first key to dissolution. Once the unconscious programming is brought into the light of your conscious scrutiny, it begins to lose its absolute power over your decisions. This process requires patience and compassion. You didn't choose these beliefs, but you are choosing to reprogram them. Part 3, Breaking Financial Myths. The next crucial step is actively dismantling those limiting beliefs and replacing them with truths grounded in growth and possibility. We must break the foundational myths that keep the cycle of scarcity spinning. The first myth is often the belief that money is a fixed pie, that someone else's success diminishes yours. The truth is that abundance is multiplicative, not additive. When others thrive, it expands a field of possibility for everyone. The second myth is the idea that managing money requires being highly restrictive, rigid, and joyless. The truth is that financial discipline, when rooted in self-respect, creates immense freedom and peace, allowing you to spend in alignment with your values, guilt-free. Let us institute new core affirmations that actively counter the old programming. Instead of believing, money is hard to earn, consciously affirm, I attract money easily and joyfully through avenues aligned with my purpose. Instead of, I am bad with money, declare, I am rapidly developing financial wisdom and maturity. This is not empty positive thinking. It is a strategic planting of new neural pathways. Every time the old fear-based thought surfaces, the feeling of panic, the urge to sabotage, you interrupt it immediately with the new, chosen truth. You are literally reshaping the architecture of your brain. This practice demands repetition. You wouldn't go to the gym once and expect a physical transformation, and you cannot affirm a new belief once and expect immediate financial freedom. It requires consistent, committed mental practice, treating your mind as the most valuable asset you possess. These new truths become the foundation of your new financial identity. Part 4, Shifting Mindset Through Action. Mindset transformation is not passive contemplation. It must be coupled with intentional, conscious action. We must bridge the gap between internal belief and external behavior. Start with the powerful practice of financial gratitude. We often focus exclusively on what we lack, the debt, the insufficient savings, which only reinforces scarcity. Today, shift your attention to acknowledging everything money currently facilitates in your life. The warmth of your home, the food on your table, the security of your device that allows you to read these words. Take 5 minutes every morning to write down 10 things money paid for that brought you comfort, ease, or joy yesterday. This simple habit immediately shifts your emotional frequency from lack to appreciation. When you appreciate what you have, you signal to your subconscious that you're already operating from a place of sufficiency, not desperation. Next, introduce visualization practices. Visualize yourself making decisions from a place of true abundance, not having $1 million, but being the person who confidently handles $1 million. See yourself paying bills with ease, investing with wisdom, and giving generously without feeling deprived. Crucially, connect these mental shifts to tiny, tangible behavioral changes. For instance, approach your finances not with dread, but with curiosity. Dedicate 10 minutes to looking at your budget or investments as an act of self-care and self-respect, rather than a punishment. Small, powerful steps taken consistently create momentum. Gratitude elevates your frequency, visualization magnetizes your goals, and consistent, mindful action solidifies a new, empowered relationship with your wealth. Part 5. Empowerment and Identity. The final stage of inner transformation requires claiming a new identity. You must stop identifying as someone who struggles with money and step into the role of a financial self-master. This shift is profound. It means moving from a consumer mindset, reacting to external circumstances, to a creator mindset, intentionally generating your reality. A financial master does not dread money conversations. They seek financial literacy as a core part of their ongoing self-improvement. They do not hoard money out of fear. They manage it purposefully, seeing it as a tool for ethical influence and impact. Prosperity must be tied not just to your comfort, but to your purpose. When you see your financial abundance as a fuel that allows you to fulfill your highest potential, your motivation transcends mere survival. You are no longer just making money for yourself. You are expanding your capacity to contribute and create value in the world. Embrace emotional maturity around money. This means taking responsibility for past mistakes without dwelling in self-pity, and seeing mistakes as valuable data points, not failures. A wealthy mindset is a mature mindset, one that understands delayed gratification, respects boundaries, and values time and energy over fleeting bargains. When you look in a mirror, see the person who attracts opportunities, who handles large sums with grace, and who uses resources to uplift others. This identity is not a costume you put on. It is an organic evolution of your true self, aligned with integrity and abundance. Part 6. Reprogramming and Commitment. Your journey from financial fear to abundance is not a one-time fix. It is a sustained, lifelong commitment to emotional alignment. The old programming will attempt to resurface, especially during moments of stress or unexpected loss. Your commitment is to meet those moments not with panic, but with the immediate application of your new mental tools. Let us conclude with a powerful act of reprogramming. Close your eyes for a moment and inhale deeply. Visualize a strong, protective shield of radiant, golden energy surrounding you. This energy represents your inherent worthiness. Feel the certainty that you are deserving of profound financial peace and success. Repeat this commitment silently or aloud. I release the scarcity narratives inherited from my past. I choose to align myself with the frequency of abundance. Money is a positive energy that flows easily and rapidly into my life, and I manage it with wisdom, gratitude, and confidence. I am a powerful financial creator, and my prosperity serves my highest purpose. I am safe, I am worthy, and I am abundant. Carry this feeling of centered assurance into your day. This feeling, this frequency, is what magnetizes true wealth. Your financial evolution is already in motion. Stay committed to the identity you claim today. Practice these shifts daily and watch as the invisible wall of fear dissolves, opening wide the path to financial mastery that has always awaited you. The transformation we have achieved today is not a mere stopping point. It is the unveiling of a powerful new operating system. However, like any sophisticated software, this internal architecture requires vigilant protection from external corruption and the regular application of updates. We must understand that the residual shadow of scarcity often attempts a clandestine return, not through grand, dramatic gestures, but through subtle, deeply physiological traps. The initial euphoria of breakthrough must transition into the disciplined rigor of maintenance. Now, consider the inevitable pressure test. The moment life delivers an unexpected blow, perhaps a sudden, frightening dip in income or an urgent, non-negotiable expense. In that instant, the familiar, suffocating grip of old anxiety will rise, manifesting as a tightening in your chest, shallow breathing, or a sudden, frantic urge to retreat into compulsive spending or extreme financial hoarding. This is a nervous system, habituated to crisis, attempting to revert to the old survival blueprint. This juncture is where your long-term commitment is truly tested. Do not fight the physical sensation of fear. Observe it. Acknowledge the manifestation of the old ghost, but absolutely refuse to yield decision-making authority to it. Instead of reacting instantly, you must consciously activate your prefrontal cortex, the seat of rational, evolved thought. This requires implementing a planned, structured pause. For example, mandate a non-negotiable, mandatory 24-hour delay on any financially significant decision made while under duress. This cooling-off period serves as your psychological firewall against immediate regression, allowing the abundant, disciplined self time to regain control before the action is finalized. Furthermore, the environment you actively cultivate acts as a profound influence, either reinforcing your new state of abundance or stealthily eroding it. It is paramount now to conduct an exhaustive audit of your input channels. Who are the voices you consume daily? Are you constantly absorbing news cycles predicated solely on fear and economic doom, which subtly recalibrate your internal thermostat toward chronic anxiety? Conversely, are you seeking out mentors, communities, and literature that celebrate responsible wealth creation and sustained, ethical growth? If your media consumption is a constant stream of comparative jealousy or alarmism, you are actively inviting the old scarcity back to dinner. Pruning this digital and social toxicity is not merely recommended. It is fundamental security maintenance for your renewed financial psyche. A deeper layer of self-mastery involves recognizing the early warning signals, the subtle emotional check engine lights that flicker on long before a financial mistake is made. These are often purely emotional responses. A disproportionate spike of irritation when discussing household finances, a sudden, heavy dread when opening investment statements, or a persistent, low-level urge to engage in retail therapy to numb a non-financial pain. These feelings are not accurate indicators of market conditions. They are, in fact, urgent alerts signaling a misalignment between your actions and your newly professed abundant identity. When you feel that dull, persistent emotional resistance, you must treat it like a serious diagnostic cue, asking, what core value am I currently betraying with my behavior? Consequently, the commitment to sustained excellence requires establishing rigorous systems for continuous self-assessment, moving beyond sporadic inspiration. Commit to a structured, quarterly review of financial mindset sabbatical. This is not a conventional budget meeting. It is a dedicated time to intentionally examine your core motivations, audit your giving habits, and measure your emotional ease around wealth. Did you feel more or less joy handling your resources this past quarter? This deliberate process of tuning ensures that you are always evolving strategically alongside global opportunities, rather than merely reacting fearfully to unexpected shifts. Ultimately, consider the powerful generational reverberation of this mastery. By diligently maintaining your aligned state, you are not only securing your own future, you are actively severing the chain of inherited scarcity that might have plagued your lineage for decades. Your sustained commitment becomes the most powerful and enduring financial legacy you can possibly leave. The confident, living demonstration of inner stability, resulting in outer prosperity. This is a profound, ongoing commitment to maintain the flow, not just for your present moment, but for all the futures that will inevitably be influenced by your current state of unwavering alignment. Reflecting on this journey so far, recognize the profound, quiet revolution that has occurred within your internal economy. We have moved far beyond the simplistic metrics of debits and credits, engaging instead with the subtle, intricate language of your subconscious wiring. You have performed the deep, essential excavation, tracing the tangled roots of historical anxiety, not merely to understand them academically, but to willfully starve them of the emotional sustenance they require. The frantic, perpetual pursuit of external validation through monetary acquisition has begun to yield to a grounded sense of innate sufficiency. Imagine for a moment that your financial life was previously a sophisticated yet flawed timepiece, its gears constantly slipping, its pendulum swinging erratically, reflecting the volatile currents of fear. Through the deliberate acts of internal scrutiny and conscious reframing, you have effectively restored the mechanism, synchronizing its rhythm to the consistent beat of your true potential. The previous epistemology of lack, which dictated that resources were perpetually diminishing and opportunity inherently adversarial, has been superseded by a dynamic belief in generative reciprocity. This shift is manifest not in a sudden lottery win, but in a gradual, unshakable calmness when confronted with complex decisions, replacing the frantic urgency of survival with a deliberate pace of mastery. The synthesis of these internal breakthroughs creates a navigational fidelity that was previously impossible. When you align your core beliefs with possibility, and then reinforce that alignment with intentional, small habits of gratitude and visualization, you initiated a powerful process of energetic recalibration. You cease to be the ship perpetually tossed by the turbulent whims of market cycles. You become the seasoned captain, utilizing an internal compass calibrated to your highest purpose. Your external circumstances, which once felt like impenetrable walls, are now revealing themselves to be permeable boundaries, responsive to the harmonic frequency of your clarified intentions. This is the moment where the internal scaffolding, built from revised beliefs and newly adopted disciplines, transforms into self-supporting, solid bedrock. This new foundation means you no longer view discipline as punishment or sacrifice, but as the elegant framework of freedom. The energy you use to expend on worry and self-sabotage is now being organically channeled into strategic creativity and genuine contribution. The realization dawns that attracting wealth is less about fighting the current and more about adjusting your sail to catch the prevailing wind of your own momentum. This emerging reality is heavier, more substantial, and deeply peaceful than any fleeting moment of temporary financial gain driven by panic ever could be. We stand at the threshold of operationalizing this new identity completely. You have cleared the static. You are broadcasting on a clear frequency. The final step is one of sustained, unwavering commitment to not just possess this knowledge, but to be this knowledge in the world. It is the integration of emotional maturity and purposeful action, ensuring that this new abundance is not merely fleeting luck, but a permanent, intentional state of being ready to be wielded with grace and responsibility. This integrated self is now prepared to commit to the long haul, securing not just momentary success, but financial and emotional evolution that endures. Alex leaned back from the glowing screen of the financial dashboard, the hum of the morning settling around the quiet domesticity of the kitchen. The light filtering through the window pane cast long, peaceful shadows, a stark contrast to the internal gloom that used to define these moments of financial review. A significant, unexpected expense for home repairs had just landed in the inbox, a 5-figure demand that, only a year ago, would have triggered a full-scale physical panic response. The tightening in the chest, the frantic, zero-sum mental calculus. Today, the old reaction attempted its ascent. A familiar, cold dread tried to seize the rudder of Alex's nervous system. But this time, Alex didn't fight it. They simply observed it. That observation, that momentary, intentional pause between the external trigger and the internal reaction, was the ultimate proof of mastery. It revealed the final, profound truth of this entire journey. True security is not a number printed on a statement. It is the unshakable emotional fidelity you maintain to your own inherent worth, even when the world attempts to rattle your cage. The genius of this transformation lies not in the eradication of all financial fear, for caution remains a useful tool, but in the absolute refusal to surrender authority to that fear. Alex realized the old scarcity programming was simply a neural habit, a ghost attempting to haunt a renovated house. By consciously choosing to breathe, to step away from the immediate urge to catastrophize, Alex implemented the ultimate override. The question was no longer, can I afford this? But rather, as an abundantly resourceful individual, what is the wisest, most elegant solution for the situation? This shift in perspective, moving from victimhood to authorship, is the enduring legacy of internal work. This is a deeper implication of our journey. The greatest asset you possess is not your portfolio. It is a quiet, sustained confidence in your ability to generate, manage, and distribute value regardless of external volatility. When you finally stop chasing stability in the outside world and cultivate the certainty of resourcefulness within, the universe begins to mirror that internal peace. Opportunities stop feeling like desperate grasping and start feeling like natural alignment. Money ceases to be a weapon or a shield, transforming instead into the flowing, neutral energy of exchange. Alex closed a laptop, the repair expense still looming, yet the sense of panic entirely absent. They understood now that the purpose of all the reprogramming, the affirmations, the gratitude journaling, the identification of ancestral money fears, was simply to clear the internal channel so that the natural flow of prosperity could commence unobstructed. This wasn't about becoming immune to challenge. It was about becoming physiologically resilient to uncertainty. The ultimate wealth is a continuous, peaceful knowledge that you are inherently equipped to handle whatever financial weather arrives. The commitment now is simply to maintain this clear broadcast, to choose the high-frequency response, clarity, gratitude, generosity, over the low-frequency default of anxiety, judgment, and lack. This emotional discipline is the unseen engine that powers sustainable wealth creation. You are no longer merely managing money. You are masterfully managing the energy that attracts it. Go forward, knowing that the fear is dissolved into awareness. You are not just ready for abundance. You are the source of it. Your financial life is now a continuous, purposeful creation, reflecting the enduring power of a mind at peace.